Welcome to the MS&Me Radio Network, a division of the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network. The following program broadcast is an original creation by the broadcast entity. Discussion within the following broadcast should be used for informational purposes only and is not a substitute for professional medical advice or consultation. Before considering application of any broadcast content in the following program, please consult your healthcare provider. If you feel you are having a medical emergency, please contact your local health services for immediate assistance. MS&Me Media and the Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network do not guarantee or warrant the accuracy of information in the broadcast to follow. The Multiple Sclerosis Global Support Network provisions broadcast services to program hosts. Information discussed in the broadcast does not necessarily reflect the views, opinions, or goals of the network and are solely those of the show broadcast host. Should you wish to host a broadcast, please visit our website at msmemedia.com and submit a request to become a program host. We thank you for listening to the MS&Me Radio Network. Enjoy the show.
Hello, welcome to this, which is the 19th episode of A Couple Takes on MS. This is Dan Digman.
And hi, this is me, Jennifer Digman.
And welcome to this, and we want to say right now, because this is in the heart of the holiday season. So, welcome to the holidays and welcome to our program.
Ho, ho, ho. Humbug.
I think that's what it is. It's just talking today about getting through the holidays when living with multiple sclerosis. And as our show title, if you haven't listened to us before, I'm Dan and I have relapsing remitting MS, and this is my wife Jennifer.
And thank you, Dan. I appreciated that introduction.
You're welcome.
I'm living with secondary progressive MS, and I was diagnosed 20 years ago. And in this time of year, and that's kind of what we wanted to talk about, was how do you handle the holidays? Living with multiple sclerosis or being the caregiver of someone living with MS. So I ask you, my love,
yes, dear.
How do the holidays make you feel?
Sleepy.
Sleepy.
I think there's a lot going on right now, and I think it is with multiple sclerosis, as we all are dealing with. Obviously we all know that fatigue is like a huge issue and a huge thing at the holidays. And true story, Jennifer, are you ready for this?
Yes, sir.
It actually would have been in 1999. It was December 17th, like a week before Christmas Eve. And really the holidays, whatever your religious, however you celebrate the holidays this time of year. But for me, it was a week before Christmas Eve was when I was first told that the symptoms I was having most likely was multiple sclerosis. And so that was...
oh, wow. So that must... Babe, I didn't even think about that. That must make this time of year a little more, I don't want to say memorable, but a little more emotional.
I think it's just something where well, as we had talked about in terms of celebrating your D-Day, your diagnosis day, I think that's something where that was devastating. But again, then the day after I was told most likely multiple sclerosis, I woke up the next day and everything, I was like, I have not changed. I'm still the same person. I just have a potentially a diagnosis with the disease. And so I think, so no, I don't have like bah humbug attitude with the holidays, but I think it is very much getting through this holiday season with all the expectations, the parties, the food, the preparation, the decoration,
and the stress, which is a killer for those of us living with MS. Stress really can exacerbate some of the symptoms that we deal with every day. You know, and I know when we're tired or we're stressed out, the numbness gets a little worse. The fatigue gets quite a bit worse. And so I think that going into the holidays, you have to set your expectations and not get too stressed out.
So this is for me, like I said, that's going into the holidays, that's for me. But then Jennifer, for you, for somebody in a wheelchair this time of year, going into the holidays, how are you feeling?
I'm feeling good. There's never enough time.
True.
It's just that reality that they're weeks away, and I want to. We've just started getting our decorations out, and we still need to buy some Christmas presents and wrap Christmas presents, and don't even bring up Christmas cards.
I wasn't going to say, hey,
Yeah,
Jennifer, did you
thank
get
you.
Christmas cards
No,
yet?
I got stamps. So
That's a start.
that's a
It all
start.
starts with a stamp.
It all starts with a stamp, but that's that stress that to have that over your head can be a little exhausting, and I try not to think about that, but that's important.
Well, I think it is just something, so as we move forward into the show, what we're looking to do is just to provide everyone out there listening just some tips, some thoughts, some perspectives on how to get through the holidays when living with the realities of multiple sclerosis, and just ways to make things maybe a little easier, a little
To manage it and stay in front of it so that you don't have those moments where you're like, holy cats, I have a week until the big day of Christmas or New Year's, or a family party, something like that. So I think one of the ways that helps me manage my disease and the impending stress is to make lists. I want to know what I have to manage, and
thereby then make a list and check it twice.
Exactly. And it doesn't even need to be mentioning who's naughty or nice.
Exactly.
It's just that I want to know what I need to do. And that makes me feel a little more in control of this uncontrollable disease that we share.
And so thereby then when you're making that list, making a list and checking it twice, and the first thing you always want to put on that list is make a list. So when you're done,
Absolutely. Thank you, brother, for that good idea.
That you check that done. I think then as you're filling out your list and doing it, really be realistic about what it is, your expectations. I mean, certainly don't sell yourself short, but just really weigh the options to say, do almost like your Christmas wish list to Santa. I remember I had seen a wish list I had done maybe when I was like 7 years old that my mom had saved. And obviously we as children, the wish lists are just anything and everything that you do, that you want, that you don't need but want. So I mean, really, don't be apologetic in making the list of things you have to do or want to do with the holidays. Put it all in writing, but then start to weed out to say, okay, do I really need this?
Well, you made a good point. I don't know if you didn't say it tonight, but you said it earlier tonight when we were watching TV, that we haven't done much decorating, and it is the reality that once we put it all up, then we have to take it all down. So maybe we don't have to do as much decorating as I'm thinking in my head, like, to make this a Christmas wonderland. And now that the weather here in Michigan is getting cold, the Christmas lights outside, they're gonna wait. They're gonna wait maybe until next year, unless we get a warm spell where we can put up some Christmas lights outside. And my Christmas will not be ruined. It's not a Hallmark Christmas with the lights on our house. So I think that is realistic expectations. I know that my husband with multiple sclerosis does not need to go outside, get on a ladder in 30-degree temperatures to hang lights, because that certainly won't make you any jollier.
True.
Won't make your holidays much better.
Well, and I think it is, because you think about the reality. You and I were married 12 years ago. Wow. Happy 12th holiday, Jennifer.
Happy 12th year of Christmas.
But that first year we got big artificial trees, but we got a big 10 or 8 foot tree for the back of the house, and a small tree for the front of the house, and we had lights on the front and the back of the house. Yeah, that happened.
We had decorations and oh my goodness, what were we thinking?
And again,
granted we were 12 years younger, but
true. But that happened one year. I think because you start to learn, you pare things down to say, okay, well, what's real? It's like if you go for a walk or something and you realize that, okay, I can go this much further, but the reality is I'm going to have to turn around and walk back home.
Yeah.
And so all the decorations we put up, we're going to have to take down. And so we've scaled everything down to just
A manageable level, and it doesn't make our holidays any less spectacular because we don't have all the decorations. And so I think that that's true, is just to be realistic. But at the same time, I think about some of my friends that have amazing houses and beautiful decorations, which doesn't mean that my house isn't beautiful and amazing, but it's important not to compare yourself to others. You know, Dan and I are living with MS and we're doing the best we can. And other people have chronic illnesses, or they have children and family responsibilities, or they're alone. And so it's just really important to not compare yourself to other people. Your holiday is your holiday. Wouldn't you agree?
and it is. I think it's just like, you look at things and and also don't always compare yourself to others, but I mean, obviously you're your best gauge, but don't compare yourself to the holidays you used to do, or that which you used to be able to do. I mean, certainly I could cook a lot more, I could bake a lot more, and now we're lucky if we make cereal mix.
Yeah, or you just have to manage your expectations with the place that you are, where you are right now in your body and your physical health. So I think not comparing yourself to others, but also not comparing yourself to the person you used to be, which is a dangerous spiral. And I just am going to go on a tangent here. But
Okay,
when you compare,
floor is yours.
Thank you, dear.
Do it.
When you compare yourself to what you used to be, for God's sakes, 20 years ago, I didn't have multiple sclerosis. So Christmas was a totally different experience, and I was more carefree. And 10 years ago, I had a husband, but it was just a different world. And so to compare myself to others is bad, but to compare myself to what I used to be can even be a little more toxic, I think. Don't you? You just get in that downward spiral of, oh, I'm so much worse than I used to be, or...
Yeah, well, and I think that's a risk we run all the time when we're living with multiple sclerosis and thinking about how we used to be, what we used to be able to do. And I think, this is the disease we live with, and obviously things are different for us, but I mean, a lot of times too, don't we as people do that anyway, where it's like, oh, I used to be able to stay up all night and do this, or when I'm trying to compare myself to the way I used to be able to live and eat and drink and do whatever when I was in college, or be able to stay up all night and study and still function the next day. Obviously I can't do that anymore, so why would I even long to do that? So I think so. That's and so I guess that's my tangent then. It's just like, so why do we as people with multiple sclerosis think that we would be able to do everything that we used to be able to do? When a lot of times it's just age and memory and maturity and things, and that forces us to change.
And that knowledge, your realization that you are older, that your disease has progressed, that leads to another tip that both Dan and I strongly believe in. It's really important to take care of yourself at the holidays. You have to continue with your medicine. It's really easy and really fun to maybe drink a little more, or to be a little more gluttonous with the delicious food. God knows I am big on eating at the holidays, but you have to have a little bit of discipline and self-control. You have to continue taking your medication and watching your activity level and the amount of sleep you get, because you need to take care of yourself. Because the holidays are fun, but they're just days. You've got months or years in front of you, so you have to take care of yourself.
And I think that gets back to being the realistic, because there's so much you can and want to do, but some of the things you just can't do. I mean, and think of how many different holiday parties, how many dinners, how many things that you do. It's just like, well, just pace yourself, because you don't want to have it to where you overdo it to the point that you're not enjoying yourself, or we make ourselves sick and you can't enjoy any of it, and then all of a sudden your holiday memory is being home in bed because you got sick because you overdid it.
Right, and that's interesting. You said your holiday memory. Maybe that's something that you should go into every holiday experience thinking, how can you make a memory out of this? You know, you want to do something, you want to enjoy the moment so that you can remember, because you do have a lot of time in front of you, and it's important to enjoy each, to really consciously stop and remember the moment and enjoy the circumstances. Make memories.
Because I think that's the big thing, you know, so much with the holidays is the traditions and like, oh, we always used to do that. I mean, when I was talking about the holidays, comma Jennifer.
Yes, question mark, Dan.
What I mean,
Wait, would
so
that be
so
yes, comma, question mark?
yes, comma Dan question mark.
There we go.
There you go. Grammatical. Okay, but no, but seriously, with your holidays, we talk traditions. What's your favorite holiday tradition? What's one thing, if I say boom, holiday tradition, what's your favorite? What do you remember most about your best
I
Christmas?
had never seen It's a Wonderful Life until I met you. And then every year we watch It's a Wonderful Life, and Dan will make his skillet popcorn, and we will sit and we will watch It's a Wonderful Life. And I think that's probably one of my favorite memories. And your cranberry
ma'am.
bread.
Oh.
Making cranberry bread and giving that out, because that's a fun gift, and it's a gift. It doesn't cost a ton of money, and it just takes a little time to make cranberry bread, and people appreciate it, and then we get to enjoy it. So I think that's fun. So those are two of my favorite memories. What about you?
Well, and I would say that those are two of my favorite. I mean,
That's no fair. You can't cheat off your partner.
well.
Get rating your own favorite.
Well,
Sorry.
so I don't fail this quiz. I mean, you know, I guess my favorite memory is we always went to my grandma's, and grandma's, and it was always the staying up and having watching the local news before we went to the late candlelight service at church, and always then seeing the weatherman when he was doing that, and then he had the image of Santa going across the radar. I was like, oh my gosh, Santa's coming. So I mean, that's growing up. But yeah, for Christmas memories with you, that's for that, because I can't use the It's a
No,
Wonderful
you
Life
can't
or
after
Cranberry
that
Bread. No,
sweet memory of
they're
your
tainted.
childhood.
But no, I think that, with you, it's the going to church here.
Yeah.
Going to the candlelight service here at church with you. But I think of that, as far as our Hollywood memories and our traditions, how many of those were done and created later in life? I mean, obviously I went back to with my grandma growing up, but I mean, that's the thing. We as people with MS, because our lives have changed, and it's just like we need to find new memories to make. I mean, we can think and remember, the days of old fondly and the traditions that we have with holidays. But don't sell yourself short. I mean, find ways to make new traditions. I mean, that's where...
And to get involved with the community. Because like you, some of my favorite memories when I was a child were going to church, going to midnight mass with my grandmother. And that community with your family. And if you are unfortunate to be separated from family, or if you don't have a huge support system right at your, right close to you, it's important to get involved. And Dan had some really great getting involved ideas, because we all need that social support, especially at this time of year. And I don't remember what you said, ways to get involved.
Well, the ways to get involved, I mean, obviously, if you can't get out, because I mean, the weather outside is frightful
here in Michigan,
and so it's like some of us, we can't get out, and but you find ways. I mean, this is where the beauty of our online communities,
yeah,
and that
absolutely.
we're always connected, whether through Facebook, whether through Twitter, Instagram, MS Buddy, other apps to keep us all connected to. Just so we don't feel alone at the holidays.
Don't feel isolated, and you can reach out to members of your community or your church family, or your local library. I mean, there are just so many different places you can get involved if you can get out. And if you can't get out of your house at this time of the year, like Dan said, the social networks are really something to lean on and to keep you strong. I think that's really important.
Because, and I remember, there one memory was that, I said we always went down to grandma's with, my aunt and uncle and everything. There was one year, there was a really, really, really bad snowstorm, and so my aunt and uncle couldn't make it up to town, and we lost power. So we had no Christmas tree, and so we didn't go to church at Christmas because there was no church, there was no power in town. And just the memory of sitting around we had candles going by the Christmas tree, obviously not lit up, but just singing Christmas carols with mom and dad and stuff. And
Aw, that's sweet.
but you have those memories, so it's just like, just because it's not there, it's not the way that you normally did it.
Yeah.
It's just like, what are you doing new? I mean, because think of that, if you can't make it out and you connect with a new friend online, all of a sudden that becomes your new tradition.
And again, you don't want to compare yourself to what you used to be, or what your old traditions were. I remember after Thanksgiving, when I shortly after being diagnosed with MS, my mom and I would go Black Friday shopping, to start off the holiday season. Well, now 20 years later in a wheelchair, I'm thinking that's just not realistic. And yes, I miss that time with my mom, but the holidays aren't about wearing yourself out and going into it, digging yourself into a hole of fatigue. So make new memory and just remember the old times. So I think that's pretty important. And you want to spend wisely.
Mm-hmm.
As I mentioned, Black Friday shopping. This time of the year, it's really important to spend wisely, both financially, emotionally, and physically.
Well, and you can't overdo it, and I think that's the big thing, because you don't want to get sick. And I mean, you just if you're going out, holiday shopping, Black Friday. I mean, that's the beauty of shopping online, and
Absolutely, and financially, multiple sclerosis, as we all know, is a pretty darn expensive disease. So you realize the beauty of a homemade gift, or just spending time with someone. It doesn't mean that you can't. Certainly, Dan, if you bought me a really expensive gift, it would be appreciated. But it's also not needed. Just spending time with you and making memories. Those are some really cherishable things. So I think that, the holidays are going to be here before we know it. And it's important to realize that you're not alone. Even if you feel isolated and lonely, there's a support system out there through the internet, or through your community, a way to get involved so you're not alone.
So then tell me, how are you planning to make this holiday memorable? Do you have any ideas or thoughts for what you want to do?
Boy, that's a good question. I think
Thank
I just
you.
want to be with you. I wouldn't mind just having a healthy. I would like to stay healthy, because I keep hearing or reading, let's be honest, watching on TV, time and time again, that this is a nasty flu season. So if I can stay healthy and I don't get sick, I think that would be memorable, because you always feel a little run down at the holidays, and I would like to commemorate it and not get sick. And I would like to spend time with you and my family. I think that would be important and memorable. And sparkles. Something sparkly.
And I'd like to. I would like to get things decorated. I'd like to get the house decorated and everything. Just so we can enjoy it. Because now we're looking at only a few weeks before the holidays are here and over, and then spending the time between Christmas and New Year's undecorating the house. And where's the fun in that? Because by then it is the most wonderful time of the year, because it's college bowl season.
Of course.
And so how do I save myself for bowl season, which actually starts before Christmas Eve? So
Yeah.
so that will be epic.
I think that's just the hopes to stay healthy and to enjoy the time and to take advantage of it. To remember, I saw a photo on Facebook of a Christmas from 8 years ago, and it was really nice to have those memories. But I look forward to having a really awesome Christmas in 2017. So I think maybe going into it with the attitude, what can I do to make this the best Christmas yet? I think that's what I'm going to strive to do, is just have a great, fantastic time and to enjoy it with you.
I thank you.
Why, you're
Well,
welcome.
and I think that I guess that moral of the story is our time here is winding down. It's like the holidays can be stressful and everything, and it's like just don't let the disease. Obviously, our MS has a part in this because it does keep us grounded. Does that make sense?
I think grounded's a good word.
And everything, but don't let it stand in your way. I mean, we all can continue to enjoy the holidays
And to move forward.
and have fun and celebrate them, but just with some points in terms of be realistic, don't compare yourself to others, take care of yourself,
And make new memories and get involved in your community. And just make this a great Christmas and take care of yourself. And don't forget, if you want to reach out to Dan and I, you can do that at danandjenniferdigman.com, or you can reach us on Twitter at Dan and Jen Dig.
not just at Dan Jen Day.
Oh, oopsie, just at Dan Jen Dig.
But
That Twitter still confounds me slightly, let's be honest.
But thank you all again for taking the time to spend some time with us here today. And again, follow us online and everything. And thanks again to Blue Draft Kid for composing the music for our show, A Couple Takes on MS. And thanks to MS&Me Radio Network for including us with a lineup of so many other incredible hosts. Thanks again, and we will check in with you around bowl season.
Happy holidays.